Geek Gamer Weekly is brought to you by Netflix Instant Streaming. Watch thousands of TV shows, episodes, movies, and more on your PC, Mac, iPad, iPhone, or TV absolutely instantly. All streamed to you by Netflix, saving you time, money, and hassle. For a free 30-day trial, please go to netflix.com/geekgamer. This is Geek Gamer Weekly, episode 243, recorded on Sunday, August 4th, 2013. Microsoft has surfaced. Hey everybody, welcome again to another edition of Geek Gamer Weekly. This is the Uber podcast for geeks and gamers. We like to say thank you for joining us if you're watching us live on this Sunday evening, August 4th. 2013. My name is Jase Nunes. I am leading this parade, if you will, of awesome panelists. We got we got a returning friendly face, and we got actually two returning friendly faces, and one new face to the show. Joining us this week, this guy right here. He made it just in the nick of time from the beautiful city of Monroe. John Kessler. Hey, John, how are you, sir?
Just ducky.
Tell everybody real quick, what is your excuse this week? Why are you late?
I wasn't late. Was I?
What? What do you mean?
I didn't think I was late.
You were late.
I was.
We were supposed to start at 6 o'clock, and you didn't make it in time.
It's because I was standing on your front door, pounding away on the door, and you were ignoring me.
I don't believe you.
I was out there for 15 minutes. No, actually, it was only 3.
All right.
But, yeah.
Well, it's good to have you here, John. It's definitely always fun to have a duck in the studio. Now, Joe Falby couldn't make it this week. He, I believe, was out near the gorge.
Nice.
It's the canyon, not like gorging himself or something.
No.
So let's first off start off with one of our new guests of the show. Now, he had me on his awesome show called the Podcasters Roundtable, and he's in the middle of packing, so we're very happy to have him here join us all the way from the East Coast. I almost said West Coast.
Soon.
Ray Ortega from the Podcasters Studio. Hey, Ray, how are you, sir?
Very good. Thanks, Chase. So happy to be on another fellow Giants fan podcast. So thanks for inviting me. And I thought it was supposed to say delicious Ray Ortega, but all right, I'll go with that.
The delicious Ray Ortega. No, I said you sounded good. You sounded delicious.
Well, I translate everything people say into things about me, so and how I look. So.
Well, you're looking good. I don't see any Giants paraphernalia around you, though.
There's a World Series patch right back here that's hard to see.
Okay.
And there's
the Giants logo. I see the Giants logo.
10 Lincecum bobblehead right here.
Okay.
It's back there.
Okay, good.
It's there.
And this whole wall is orange, man. It's Giants orange back here.
Oh, it is?
The entire wall.
The entire wall. Well, it's very good to have you, Ray. We're happy to have you. And no doubt you'll throw in your 2 cents when it comes to all the gaming topics that you know everything about. Joining us as well, all the way from the Great North, we're happy to have him back on from the beautiful area of Winnipeg.
Correct.
Yes, Mr. Lloyd Hannesson from VGPodcasts.com.
Hey, thanks for having me back, Chase.
Oh, it's great having you. I'm looking to see if anything's changed in your background. I
haven't changed much.
No, I don't think so.
I have to put this up.
It's a speeder bike. Nice.
Speeder bike, land speeder. I got a little speeder bike. Got to put that up. But yeah, that's it. I'm doing some renos soon, so I'm going to be changing everything. So I've stopped changing things, and I've just left it static. And I will be changing stuff soon, I guess.
Yeah, I'm the one who yesterday actually I went ahead and changed my background shelf a little bit. My wife also likes to come in here and change things from time to time. So it's a little bit of a challenge to get people to watch and say, wait, that mug used to be over there, or whatever. So no, it's great having you, Lloyd, on the show. Always love your perspective. You do some awesome work with VG Podcasts, and also you have a great tech perspective as well.
Thank you.
Last but certainly not least, yes, we have 5 awesome people on the show this week. Yes, I'm counting myself. Go figure that one out. All the way from OKC. Don't know. I'm not upset with this guy just because they stole our Sonics. Here he is.
We stole them. Okay.
No. Here he is, back on the show once again, Mr. Jase Rossi. Hey, Jase, how are you?
I'm good. As you can see, I'm renovating my set.
You're renovating, so I see some guitars.
Well, over here.
Oh, over there.
Yeah.
Okay.
Remember the last time I was on,
Yeah.
I had the shelf with the monitor and all that stuff. I actually moved it. It was over there. And now it's over here on this side behind me. And I haven't got my mounting bracket for my 32-inch TV to put.
That's okay. That's all right.
So it's in progress. There's a whole bunch of crap. I'm doing a cool video once I get my stuff, the rest of the stuff in, and how to make a lighting rig for $11.
$11.
Yeah, to mount it to the ceiling.
Does it involve PVC pipe?
No, it actually does not.
Wow. So even cheaper. Very nice. Well, it's great to have you on the show, Jase. Now, I have to ask. We've had you on the show. You're showing off New Tech. Actually, we named the show after you. It was
You did.
New Tech or New Tech, but now it's GamerTech. I'm confused.
Yeah. Okay, I'll explain. Okay, so we had the whole idea of doing the whole podcast network.
Wait. Podcast network.
What's
That's
that?
Awesome. Yeah, what's that?
You're gonna be rich.
Exactly, we're gonna be flowing with money. Chase is gonna get a Bentley.
Wait, I already have a Bentley. What are you talking about?
Well, you get another one.
All right, fair enough.
Just because your Lee is bent.
Oh. All right, go on, Jase.
So I came on. That was my first time back after like 9 months of being gone.
Yeah.
And I had the whole idea of doing New Tech, and it was NUTech.tv. And I come on the show, and I don't even think about this.
Yeah, I know you don't. I know.
And Chase is just like, oh, New Tech, like the TriCaster people.
Yeah, like the TriCaster people, right? Yeah.
And I was like, son of a, really? I didn't even think about that at all. And throughout the whole show, I'm sitting there thinking, okay, I have to change this. It's just not, I can't do this.
Backup plan.
Yeah. So.
Name number 47.
Name number 47. So.
Yeah. But this one has an LLC, so I can't take it back down. So.
Well, you could always do a DBA.
I don't want to do that.
All right, fair enough. Well, all right. Well, enough razzing around. And actually, GamerTech's going to be doing some content with GeekGamerTV. So very excited to have Jase back. And we're all a big, happy family here of geeks and gamers. And that's what we're going to talk about this week, some geeky and gaming stories.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of them I know you've probably heard about. Maybe one or two, perhaps. Maybe you haven't. And we're dishing that out to you guys. So let's jump in head first. And it's a shallow pool, so hopefully you don't get cracked skull. First story we're going to talk about, and I felt this was pretty significant. So back in June, the International Trade Commission ruled that Apple infringed on a couple of patents from Samsung, and the penalty was an import ban on Apple's iPad and iPhone. Well, the Obama administration had 60 days to veto it. And that's something that the presidency hasn't done in, I want to say, close to 30 years, I believe, or 35 years. But Obama said, you know what? I can't, man, I used to be able to do a good Obama impression. You know, I'm gonna veto it. So he vetoed it. So this doesn't take effect. It's one of those situations where, is this because perhaps that Apple's starting to manufacture computers, or I'm sorry, assemble computers back here in the U.S., and maybe this is one of those things that, hey, Obama's looking out for Apple? I know that's a little too much inside baseball, but I just wanted to go around the horn here and ask what people think about this. I'm going to start off with you, Mr. Ray Ortega. We don't have to feel bad. We're still going to have our constant supply of Apple products, iPhones and iPads. What do you think about what Mr. President Obama did here?
Well, it's none of your political show, but I suppose it's good for us. But I thought he loved his BlackBerry, not his iPhone.
That's
but apparently
true.
He's got one of those too.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it's, they are, what are they, the largest? Is it the largest tech company, or are they just the largest company in the U.S. now? They make the most cash, essentially, right? So
Yeah.
are we protecting the biggest American brand at this point? I mean, it can't be the biggest American brand, but
No.
I don't know. Money talks, right?
Right.
So apparently it did a lot of talking, and we know that Obama is friendly with all the tech people, right? And they go to dinner at each
True.
other's homes, and
Now,
so we don't know
yeah.
what's going on.
I mean, he did say that he was standing up, and this is a direct quote here. He's standing up for innovation. It added, actually, I'm sorry. Apple welcomed the news and applauded Mr. Obama for standing up for innovation. Obviously, they're going to be like all happy about this, of course.
Right.
Now, our good friend Lloyd here, he doesn't have really a stake in this game. He's not an American citizen. He's a proud Canadian. I mean, from an outsider's perspective here, and you're seeing, wow, the president stepped in and prevented possibly, a big travesty to Apple here and blocking. What do you think?
I don't know. I guess it kind of makes sense. They want to have products on the shelves being sold, generating revenue for tax. But when you look at the devices that were actually being affected by this import ban, it was pretty much the only thing that's on this list is the iPhone 4. The iPhone 3 can no longer buy. The 3GS, I think that's Apple's cheap phone now, or maybe it's the 4. It depends on.
I think it's the 4 now, actually.
It's the 4 now?
Yeah.
The iPad, the original iPad 3G and the iPad 2 3G, both which you can't purchase right now. So really it's the iPhone 4. And if rumors are to be believed, come September, you're not even going to be able to buy an iPhone 4 because there's going to be a new plastic lower cost phone that will be the kind of the entry level model. So
true. Yeah.
At the end of the day, it's kind of a non-starter. Maybe it's a shot across the bow for all these crazy patent litigation that's going on. If you try to get an import ban and you're affecting us, we're just gonna shoot it down.
Well, yeah, you know what? I think you touched on a great thing there, and that is the whole patent wars, where now they're trying to get rid of penalties, if you will, or still include penalties, of course, but now all right, we're going to have a ban on importing of this device or a ban on this device.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, Jase, is this the next level of patent wars here? Is this what we're going to be seeing, where we're going to see more and more companies trying to just slap embargoes down?
I think so. I think that, there's so much wrong with the patent office and everything. That's all this show. But
Yeah.
I think this is going to be the new thing they're going to do. But look at it like this, though. Obama's already ticked off so many people. Don't tick off the geeks. So, of course, he's going to do what he did. He doesn't want to make them mad.
Geeks got him elected.
They'll hack his Twitter account or something.
Wait. He has. Oh, that's right. He does have Twitter. Yeah.
Go
ahead, John.
The one weird thing I thought, I was like, okay, how much, to get to the point where the ban happened, how much money, was thrown around? I mean, how much money has been spent in litigation and court costs and all that other money?
A lot.
And then, to define, it's like, okay, yeah, there's going to be a ban. Okay, this is what's coming down. And then Obama steps in. Nah. Veto. And you're thinking.
Well, the veto, people need to realize the veto's rare.
Yeah, it's
rare
rare
here. This doesn't happen.
So, but then, the people on the other end of it that were on the other side of the table there, they're just going to, they'll throw up their hands. It's like, why do we bother? What?
Don't hit the desk, John.
Oh, sorry.
No, it's interesting. Here was the quote that I was looking for. Obama says he vetoed it because its effect on competitive conditions in the U.S. economy.
Okay. So now what happens on the ripple effect in the other countries where they go, oh, so, the patent was, because of infringement, they go, the other countries go, oh, yeah, well, okay. Apple, I'm sorry, we're not going to ban Samsung and HTC. They can do whatever they want now. I mean, what's going to be the ripple effect? If there is any.
Does it set a precedent? Is what you're saying. Yeah.
Yeah, the countries go, you know what? Heck with it. We're just going to do what we want to do. Our guys can't do any bad because Apple can't do any bad.
Well, I mean, you also have companies, and we've seen this happen, where they willingly know that they're violating a patent, but they go ahead and do it anyway. because they know that they're holding patents that another company is violating, and they're just holding on to them, kind of. I don't know if you call it blackmail. I don't think that's the right word, but where like, all right, well, we won't press charges, we won't sue you because you're violating one of our patents, so we're going to use something against you. But obviously, the Apple-Samsung war is really starting to heat up.
But wasn't one of the patent infringements the fact that the icons on the screen, the buttons had rounded edges?
Yeah, I think it was. I don't remember too much about that lawsuit.
I mean,
it's under
now
appeal
they're just getting really, really picky at that point, going, "Oh, you can't have rounded edges on your buttons." Well, if that's the case, Chase, you're in violation.
Yeah. I think we all are.
Your phone is 6 inches long, 3 inches wide, and has rounded edges. Your phone looks like my phone. That can't happen.
Guess what? Every phone after the iPhone is infringing.
Yes.
I mean, I thought when it comes to a point where you can't. I mean, it's common art. What's that?
Now, if your phone looked like a banana, that was fine because it didn't look.
Bring
like
back
phone.
the brick phone.
The brick.
But what happened to the point of certain patents would fall under jurisdiction of is like if you had the same idea, and as long as you changed one certain thing about it, you could actually patent it as a separate thing because it's not identical to the other patents. So instead of having rounded edges on the buttons, they have circle buttons, or the edges are slightly more round. I mean, what happened to things like that? It just seems like they're just throwing each other under the bus to we're sitting here talking about it. Everyone in the media go crazy about it and think that it's this huge deal when it's just Apple and Samsung really generating more sales.
I see the phone look like a star.
Star.
You know what I think? I failed patent law. That's my problem, and I don't want to talk about this anymore.
Good. Applause. Tech News Today is a show I used to watch on the on another network. And
wait, what this other network? Wait.
There's another network?
There's other podcasting networks? What are you talking about?
I've heard they exist. And they should change the name to Patent and Cell Phone Today, because I mean it's almost all they talk about. So I think I tuned out the whole patent wars thing so long ago because it's annoying, it's confusing, it's probably only good for them. So
Didn't he have a bunch of tanks?
Tanks.
Patent war.
Yes.
John. Oh man.
Sorry.
Just stop.
All right,
Please.
fine.
That's just awful.
Bad joke.
Hey, let's talk about another large company. Let's talk about Microsoft, shall we? Now, we already know that they dropped the price of their Surface to help increase sales. That's what usually companies do. They'll drop prices to increase sales because it's not doing so well to compete with the iPad, for example. Well, they've dropped it now $100, the Surface Pro edition of that tablet during the month of August. Whoa, what is that's interesting. My headphones came unplugged during the month of August. I got to be very careful here because I like this tablet, but it's really hard to knock off, and we have another tablet story to talk about here shortly. Does this make a difference here? Really? Is there a reason why people are not buying the Surface Pro? Is it because they already have an iPad and everybody has an iPad? Is there a market here for Microsoft? Obviously, they're trying to make an impact. What do you think about this, Ray? I'll start off with you.
So what's the now price on this thing?
The Surface Pro brings it down to $799. Now the Surface Pro, this is the one that's the full-fledged Windows 7 Pro, Windows 8 experience. This is not the neutered experience that you would get on the RT, for example. So It's $799 for basically it's a full-fledged tablet computer.
Yeah, still costs too much. I mean, right? You can get an iPad at that price.
But you can't run Apple apps on an iPad, though. I mean, you can't run that sort of thing. This is like a full computer.
Now I'm kind of skimming over this article. It says they've dropped the price by $100 until August 29th.
Right. Then it's going to go back up.
Yeah. It just says why bother?
Well, because if you've been thinking about it, John, this is the time to buy. This is the big summer sale.
It's not time to buy. If you've actually ever touched one, you won't buy it.
This is the Pro. This is the Pro. This is not the RT. I think that's part of the other problem here also.
It's a branding issue.
Exactly. All right. The RT is the iPad killer, I guess, right? That's the one where it runs Windows 8 Surface RT Edition, where it runs not every app, but some,
It runs no actual Windows binary. You have to recompile all applications to run this tablet, which means that there's probably 1% or a fraction of a 0. It's probably 0.0001% of the apps out there available for your regular Surface would be available on this one, which is why they just recently dropped the 32 gig to, I believe it's like $350, and even that they're not selling. I know working at a university, I've heard some rumblings that they were trying to court purchases by large institutions by dropping it to even $200, and no one's biting. So they're having a hard time with the RT because it has no reason to exist. The Surface Pro is a better product, but then it's still, you're running a full-blown Windows operating system on a touchscreen portable device. I don't know. A laptop is better suited to that. Personally, from my taste. I don't know. As you guys were saying, the price drop, it's nice, but if you're still asking for like $800 for a tablet, people are still going to buy an iPad, or they're going to buy a Nexus, or they're going to buy something else, even if it is running Windows or not. It's just, I don't know, too expensive. Too expensive.
Who buys this thing? I mean, who's supposed to buy this thing? First of all, like you said, I mean, iPad's got the recognition, the brand recognition, right? In terms of I want a tablet. I don't think people even call them tablets. I'm talking like the mass general public. They call them iPads. Whether they mean an iPad or not, it's become the Kleenex of tablets, right? So what does an iPad do? In order to get that mass appeal, right, mass consumer adoption, my 21-month-old daughter, she can pretty much run an iPad. Could she figure this thing out? I mean, it's just Apple makes it so simple. And whether, for geeks, maybe not the best thing. But if you want to compete with the iPad, it just has to be, it has to be cheaper, obviously. And it has to be so well recognized and easy to use that anyone can pick it up, because, otherwise this is more of a geeky product, and you're not going to get the sales they're probably looking for.
Right. Put your thinking caps back on it, or your remembering caps, I should say, back on, everybody. Remember when HP was in the tablet business? And HP came out with a very, in my opinion, it's a very decent tablet. It was running that that Palm OS, or was it the Palm OS?
Palm OS.
Very good. And they decided to get out of it, and they dropped the price of their tablets to a fire sale cheap $99 for the 16 gig and $149 for the 32 gig versions. They sold like hotcakes. You couldn't find one. They were gone instantly. I actually have one here on my desk. It's running Android and Palm, and I can dual boot into it. Do you guys think that the only way that Microsoft could possibly compete here is if they drop the price down to a fire sale price? I wouldn't say maybe as cheap as $99 or $129, and I'm not saying to do it for their Surface Pro, but if they're really trying to go after iPad and Apple, and they want to try to gain back some market share in the tablet market, drop the price of the RT to $299. Right. And at that price point, you're undercutting Apple. I mean, is that the way that Microsoft needs to go to survive in this market? Ray, I'll start with you.
Well, didn't they kind of already take that approach with an Xbox? Isn't that kind of a loss on the Xbox, and they make their money up on the games?
Yeah. A lot of gaming companies do that.
A lot of gaming companies, right? Yeah. So, if you want them to fly off the shelf, you only want me to think twice about picking one up. Yeah, dirt cheap price. I don't know how that at that point you recover your cost. It's not a gaming system. You don't have a massive app store that like an Apple can support. Just get the device into people's hands, so that's going to be tough. Look at the Chromecast that just came out. It's $35. No one's even going to think twice. They're sold out. You can't get them because $35. That's
easy.
I think that's how much it costs to get a coffee at Starbucks now. So it's like
yeah. Yeah.
I don't even think about it. Give me a Chromecast. I'll try that. I mean, it's just that's throwaway money at this point. So, it sounds like I don't think they could drop it that low and have it be any advantage to them. So it just sounds like a product that's just not going to work.
Will Microsoft eventually pull the trigger on it, Ray, do you think? I mean, we've seen reports of how much money they've put into this program. I mean, we've seen their ads. We've seen so much hard work they've put into this. Do they pull do they just cut it off like they did with the Zune?
If they have put in that much, then it's about something else at that point. It's not about selling necessarily this specific tablet as it is getting people familiar with Microsoft as a tablet maker, and you put it in people's hands. So do you suffer a little bit more, like you said, for that brand recognition? Probably. Will they? I don't know. I don't know if I see that happening a lot, but
I mean, part of me wonders, is this goes back to the Windows 8 philosophy of having the same kind of operating system on the tablet, marrying the same kind of operating system on the desktop, with the touch screen on the desktop, touch screen on the laptop, touch screen on everything, and to kind of have the same operating system on all platforms. And if Microsoft decided to shut down the Surface, then a lot of people will be like, well, then why are you making me do this on the desktop? Bring it back to the way it was. And I know they're kind of doing that a little bit with Windows 8.1, not fully, but kind of. Jase, I mean, is this the last tablet we might see from Microsoft? Are they going to cut it off? What do you think?
Well, I mean, I heard somewhere that they were losing like $900 million on like the whole deal. I look at it like this. I can agree with you. If they went and did the fire sale, and look at the Nexus 7. The Nexus 7 just came out. The new one came out as $229 for the 16 gig. If they went $179 or even $149 for the RT, and they took the Pro from $799 all the way down to, heck, we'll do $199. They would probably sell a whole lot of them, and they would at least make up some of the $900 million they're going to lose on that. They're never going to make it all back. It's a product that didn't appeal to the right audience, especially because when most people look at a tablet, they're thinking of playing on games or watching YouTube videos or, chatting, typing, blah, blah. They don't look at it as, they kind of marketed it to me almost as like it's a full-blown Windows computer with a keyboard flappy thing that you can attach to it. It's like, great, you sold me a really kind of clunky laptop, and I want a tablet. And they didn't market that way. Enterprise people, there's a couple of shows I've watched where enterprise people have embraced the RT and also the Pro. I could see it working for some things like that, but as far as like consumers, I think Microsoft just needs to just stop, especially when Google is selling the Nexus 7 right now at a loss, and they don't care, and they can do that.
Let's talk about that a little bit. I mean, the Nexus 7 just came out, the new version, I should say, for $229 that's the 16 gigabyte version. John actually had the original Nexus 7. And
I still have mine.
And this one now has a beautiful HD screen, long battery life. It doesn't have that neat backing like the old one does, that grippy kind of textured back. But other than that, though, all the reviewers seem to love it. Is this the way to do it, you think, Lloyd, to go after Apple by making a cheaper, high-quality mini tablet? Is that the way to do it?
Yeah, well, definitely. I mean, quality always trumps like jankiness when you're looking at low-cost things. Look at like netbooks. They were poor quality, and they sold well for a while, but then you got things like tablets, and you had the iPad, and everybody's like, wow, I can do a bulk of what I was using my netbook for, but it's a joy to use. It's a fun thing. And then the Nexus came out, and I dig the Nexus. I don't use a lot of Android stuff just because I live kind of in an Apple ecosystem with all my media. I have small kids. I have all my movies on an Apple TV, on my iTunes, my Apple TVs. I control it with my iPad. If I was to buy an Android tablet, without a doubt, it would be the Nexus 7. The thing that Microsoft has to worry about is they already took that $900 million bath on marking down the Surface RT by $150. So they already wrote off that $900 million. They're never getting it back. If they do something similar to the other Surfaces, I mean, look what BlackBerry did with their Playbook. They dropped the price to $199 for the Playbook, and they sold like hotcakes. And then where are they now? Like that didn't benefit them at all.
Yeah.
And the same thing will probably happen to Microsoft.
Yeah.
Nexus 7, great product, great price, really good ecosystem. You can get media. Even if Microsoft dropped the Surface Pros to $299 or $199, I don't know if you're going to sway a lot of the people that are buying tablets to go that way. I mean, Windows 8's a mess. Google, Android OS is great. iOS is great when you're on a portable device. So I don't know. I like the Nexus. I would buy one of those for $229 in a heartbeat.
Now, I know someone to ask this perfect question to, and he happens to be sitting right across from me. Now, Mr. John Kessler, you had a Nexus 7. Unfortunately, some jackass broke into your place and stole it.
Language.
Hey, it's an appropriate word.
Okay.
A jackass is an animal.
Okay.
I don't have to censor that.
All right.
You human, John Kessler.
Mm-hmm.
Someone stole your Nexus, and now you're in the market. Now, you were actually looking for a tablet before the Nexus 7. I told you, go get a Nexus 7. I think you asked me, what kind of tablet should I get? You were looking for a small form factor to replace your Nook. I said, hey, go for this. So now you're tabletless.
Not really.
Oh, no.
Well, I still have my Nook.
You used to have your Nook, but you need something more powerful and better battery life and et cetera, and lighter. Are you going to go towards the Nexus 7 now that it's out, now that it's fully available?
Yeah, I'm going to.
You are.
I'm going to be pulling the trigger eventually on probably the 32 gig.
32. Now, is there a reason for that? I mean,
just because I can.
You want more storage?
Yeah.
You're not going to get the LTE version?
Probably not.
Oh, okay.
Because are they locked in? I didn't look. Are they locked into a carrier or not?
I think it's available for AT&T, Verizon. I think you just pick the carrier's network that you want to go onto. I don't know 100% on that.
It'd be nice to keep it with Sprint, but there's no LTE up here at the moment.
Yeah. Well, they just launched AT&T LTE in Marysville in this neck of the woods. I'm very happy about that.
That's not Sprint.
Well, then you need to switch carriers, man.
I don't. No, I don't.
So I guess maybe I mean, Ray, you're the last person here to chat about the Nexus 7. I mean, do you have a 7? Do you have an iPad? What's your tablet of choice?
I have an iPad first gen because it was purchased for me for work purposes. Okay, so it's actually no longer even supported by Apple, and in fact, I can't find it. So I may have actually lost an iPad.
No.
Which is,
how do you do that, man?
Don't tell my work, but it's okay because I didn't use it much. It is, tablets. iPad has positioned them as consumption devices, right? So back to the RT thing. It's not. You can produce a lot of stuff like it's a laptop, but like someone else had mentioned, you just sold me sort of a crummy laptop, right? So with MacBook Airs and everything's getting so thin these days, but with the Nexus 7, this was going to be the first one was going to be my entry into the Android tablets because it's just so cheap. I mean, I could get a Nexus 7. They looked awesome. I think really all of this is about what you name your product, right? I will buy a certain bottle of wine because the label looks better. And the Nexus 7 just sounds good. iPad, Nexus 7, they both ring. Windows, Surface, RT, come on. People don't buy that.
What if you just call it Surface? What if you just call it the Surface? Does that sound...
It's a little sexier, right? It's a little more friendly, right? Yeah. The Surface. But, of course, now it's tainted, right? They need to come up with something else. But, I love this device, and I don't even know much about it. So that's a good plus. And I think that, Android or Google, what they've already done, they came in with Android, the operating system, to compete against iOS, and they won because in this case they were everywhere, right? iOS was one device. Their strategy was really cheap, decent OS, which was okay in the beginning, but it's gotten really good from what I understand. And they're right there. They came up. Their app market is good. They've come up. They're now almost level with Apple in terms of everything. So I think this device is really cool. It should be really successful. The price is, it's easy to get into. If you want a tablet and you want a nice tablet and can't afford an iPad, this tablet is nice enough where I don't even have to think about iPad. I think this is perfectly capable. And the reason I almost bought one was because I shoot a lot of DSLR video, and you can actually use this as a monitor. And monitors typically cost, they'll cost $500, $7,000. You can do it with an app here, and plus on top of that, you get an entire tablet. So I like the device. I think it's going to kick butt, and I think that they've done what Microsoft couldn't do in the tablet market, and they're in.
So everybody's buying these Android devices. You know, I purchased an HTC One. I'm on an Android phone now. I'll probably come back to Apple once they finally come out with a 5-inch screen iPhone. Because once you go to a larger screen phone and then try to go back, you just can't. I mean, I like the iPhone a lot. Lloyd, I mean, I know you're an Apple guy.
Yep.
I like that phone a lot, but it's too small. Even the 5 is too small, and hopefully they'll come out bigger. I was here. This is not a story in the rundown, but I was reading a rumor that they might be delaying the new 5, whatever they're going to call it, 5S, because they're going to come out with a little bit bigger screen size. So
you could probably make calls from your iPad Mini. I don't know.
Well, it doesn't have a Retina display, Ray. That's the problem.
My wife has one. They're awesome. I think I actually like the Mini better than the regular iPad. But
yeah, and the Mini's direct comparison is to 7, right? So
yeah, and I think, isn't Apple about to sort of kick these guys back in the face with their plastic iPhone? They're not known to make cheap products, and they're going to enter the market with a plastic iPhone, which I'm not sure. I don't know if Steve would have liked that one, but
are they going to go battle with that? Was it the new Google phone where it's going to be made or assembled in the U.S. because you can order it with whatever the back?
Oh, what you talking about, the Moto X?
Yeah.
Is
that going to be?
I didn't put that in here because all right. You guys can overrule me here for a minute.
I
didn't put a story
the phone,
in.
It's the cell phone edition.
Well, no, I didn't put a story in on the Moto X because
we had
I thought it's being way overplayed.
Yeah.
Wow, it's the Moto X. It's the best thing since sliced bread. This is a great phone. It's always listening to me. I can talk to it, and it will respond to me. Google, I want to go back to sleep for 30 minutes. It's just like. Have you guys seen the Moto X, Ray? Have you seen this new phone yet?
I have not. I've barely heard of it. I have heard of it, but I haven't seen it.
All right. Lloyd, what about you?
I've read some stuff about it. The whole Motorola-Google relationship just really kind of confuses me. So I'm kind of not interested just because of how crazy that is.
Yeah.
It looks neat.
All right, strike 2, and now strike maybe 3, Jase.
Okay, the thing with the Moto X is obviously it listens to you, all the time, unless your phone is locked. If your phone is locked, the Google Now thing does not work. You can wake it up, but you have to be the only person that can do it. You have to set your voice to it. Leo has one.
Leo?
And yes, and was using Leo from Twit.
Oh, okay.
Was using one, and he raved about it for like hours and hours and hours all day today. And then when he was on This Week in Tech, was trying to show it to John C. Dvorak, and the thing was just crapping out on him. It didn't listen to him, and then it would make this weird beep noise like it was listening to him to say something, and he would be talking like through the Carbonite ad, and it was like Google was trying to talk to him, and it was funny. So it's not perfect, and some people are saying that the Google Now thing is like the greatest thing since sliced bread. It works just as good as Siri, which doesn't work that great either.
I'm going to show you guys the best Android phone. I love this phone. I love this phone.
Okay. Oh, he does have the HTC One, and he said the 2 best phones on the market right now, if you don't want an Apple, is the HTC One or the Moto X.
Well, did he buy the Moto X?
No, it's a review unit. He said he's going to, though.
Yeah. I'll believe it when I see it. I mean,
me too.
I know. I mean, with all due respect to Mr. Leo Laporte, but I know he got in a big fight over this. God, who was it with? It was such a long time. Oh, screw you, Michael.
Oh, Mike Arrington.
Yeah, the whole screw you thing. I mean, I've gotten review units before of things, and I will tell it like it is. And part of me feels like some tech reviewers and some reviewers feel like they have to say something nice, because if they don't say something nice, they're potentially cut off. And Leo used to not even get any review units for anything. He was very adamant about that. He would buy everything on his own, and now he has a review unit. So I don't know. I haven't tried the Moto X, so I'm not going to say anything bad about it. But when I look at the phone and when I look at the specs of the phone, yeah, it's got some neat features. But as a phone, as a consumption device, I mean, one thing I love about the HTC One is the front-firing speakers. It's got great battery life. It's got a smooth Android experience. It's really great. So I don't know, but Moto X. I mean, all right. So it's put together here. I'm happy about that.
It looked cheap though.
But the one thing that really concerns me about having any Android phone, or even device for that matter, is what was released recently on the interwebs is that the Wall Street Journal is reporting, based on court documents and interviews with people involved with federal agencies, the FBI has been developing hacking tools, and one of those tools is the ability for them to remotely activate the microphone on Android-based devices to record conversations. Now, my wife told me about this story the other day. I thought it was like, oh, come on, the FBI? Now, if it was the NSA, okay, I'd believe that, because they've been in the news a lot lately. Lloyd, you have nothing to worry about, my friend. You don't have an Android phone, right?
I do not.
All right, so you don't have to worry about the U.S. government or Canadian authorities listening in on you. Yep.
Nope.
There's
Not
your
yet.
iPhone 5. Not yet.
Yeah, that's my iPhone 5. Yeah, not yet. I'm sure the FBI is listening all over the world, though.
Well, they're already listening to this conversation right now, so we're going to start losing our connectivity here momentarily. But how does something like this make you feel? I mean, being a tech guy and a journalist in gaming and technology, and now you're finding out. I mean, we're still going farther and farther down the rabbit hole, finding out what's happening with the NSA here in the States and stuff. But I mean, how does this make you feel now that the FBI can just go ahead and remotely turn on your microphone? But
of course they can. That's kind of what my thought is. I mean, we've been seeing it in television forever, and kind of what happens on TV somehow finds a way to happen in real life. I don't really know why that happens, but that's the case. They can tell where you are. They can see where your GPS is. They can see how fast you're moving. They can tell whether you're indoors, whether you're outdoors. Sure, they can listen to you. It's kind of interesting the way they're doing it. I thought there would have been a lot more cooperation with different cell phone manufacturers where there would be a back door. But no, this is essentially the FBI developing their own malware that they try to get a suspect to
install.
That's interesting. That's similar to what other countries are doing, and the U.S. government's down on the other countries doing that. So I don't know. It's interesting with this move to everything being digital. You're seeing like hacking actually becoming a life skill, and you can get a job getting paid oodles of money just if you're a good hacker. I don't know. It's interesting to me. I don't do criminal things, so I hopefully will never have to worry about my phone being bugged. But it's interesting to know that it can happen to people around you.
Ray, you're a hacker. Hardcore hacker.
Mm-hmm.
And so, you're going to install this malware from the FBI so they can activate your phones and stuff. But, I mean, how does this make you feel now that the FBI is developing tools to turn on your microphone on your Android device so they can listen in on your conversations? Does it make you feel more safe?
More safe? No, not more safe. But as a podcaster, that's one more stat, right? I can have someone else listening to my show.
That's true. that's breaking it in with the CPM, man. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yep, we got to get everyone. No, I also don't have an Android device, and it's like Lloyd says, it's kind of funny how I feel like we've almost been conditioned. Really, when you bring up this story, I think, yeah, of course. Well, surprise, surprise, and maybe that a lot of that has to do with the recent NSA stuff, which is just up the road here. I actually pulled into the so I live here in DC, which is also on the border of Maryland, and when you drive up one of the main roads here, up the road here in Maryland, the NSA is right there. It's a big giant bluish glass building, and the roads to it are just filled with like black cars, everything you would expect to see in a movie.
Yeah.
So I said, I got to take this road, right? So I just went off the road and drove down, and apparently you can drive right up to the almost to the building. They have a little museum out in front of the building with like spy planes and stuff, and basically all these spies who have died at memorial and stuff like that. But right across the street is this weird Guantanamo like prison complex, and just keeps going.
Okay.
So everything you would expect if you pulled up to the NSA exists. And so so I am not surprised. The FBI building here in DC doesn't quite look so menacing, but I am not surprised that law enforcement is at least maybe trying, right? Everyone's going to push as far as they can push, and until we push back, right? And so like the whole baseball steroids thing, everyone's going to try to cheat until they're caught. So sadly, this is, I would say, not good. I mean, if you're a U.S. citizen and you consider this to be, the land of freedom and free speech, now you're kind of worried about what you can say. And I myself also don't participate in criminal activity. But, I think the scary thing about this and the NSA thing is that, what if at some point they want to pin something on you, right? And this is, what's the Will Smith movie? I always drive down the main road is here in DC is called North Capitol.
Oh, Men in Black?
No, what's the movie that's all the government chased him and they could track it was all this tech that we thought
Enemy of the State.
Enemy of the State. This is Enemy of the State, okay? And so if you've ever seen that, they shot one scene here on the street that I always drive down, and I always think about that. So this is Enemy of the State come to life, and I'm just going to move into the cabin in the woods. And no, it doesn't worry me because I'm not doing anything bad, but there are scary implications even for people who are not doing things bad. So not good, not surprised. Part of me thinks, is this shenanigans? This is flying saucers. Like, this is us in flying cars in 2020 that never happened.
See, the potential danger that always worries me in these kind of programs, and I've talked about this on other shows that I've been on, and where we discuss political topics like the Unfiltered show over on Jupiter Broadcasting, is the huge potential of abuse. And when the FBI, and we read that, they need a court order, they need to go through the warrant process and to get these things. Sometimes local law enforcement may follow that process, and sometimes they may not, and these abuses could occur. And these tools are usually released without much oversight. And John, I mean, you have an Android phone, okay? You have an older Android phone, but you have one. Now, the FBI, if they got that malware on your old HTC there and activated that microphone, how would that make you feel? Wow. John,
I'm just going to start running around with it in
airplane mode.
There.
You wouldn't feel very ducky, would you?
No.
Hey, Jase, do you have an Android phone?
Yes, I do.
How does that make you feel?
Well, okay, I agree with what Lloyd and Ray said. I'm not doing anything illegal, so I don't care if they want to listen to me yell at people in World of Warcraft. Be my guest.
Yeah.
But the whole thing is, this story reminds me of my brother, and I'll tell you why. He actually chose not to have a cell phone for the longest time because everyone kept telling him that the FBI and the government are listening to him.
And everybody thought he was crazy.
Everyone thought he was crazy.
Right.
Okay, so he didn't have one for the longest time. He got over that. But do you guys remember the movie Eagle Eye?
No, I don't think I've seen that one.
Okay.
Don't recall it.
It has Shia LaBeouf in it before Transformers. But anyways.
Oh, that's why I wouldn't watch it. Okay.
The movie is basically about this government computer that can control traffic cameras and all this other stuff. And basically it helps him because he got framed basically by the government and everything like that. Well, in the DVD extras of this movie, they had an actual FBI agent come in to explain some of the technical stuff about, NSA and stuff like that. And, how bugging people's phones and stuff like that, actually how it would work, tech-wise. And Shia LaBeouf in the DVD extras asks the guy, he's just like, well, that's all bull. It's like, you guys can't do that, right? And the FBI guy was just like, no, it's true. We can do that. And he's like, give me 5 minutes and I'll prove it to you. He goes offset, walks back in 5 minutes later and says, "Did you make a phone call on February 14th, about 3 years ago?" And he's like, "Maybe." He plays an audio clip on his phone. He goes, "Is that you?" And he goes, "Yeah." And he goes, one in every three phone calls on a landline or cell phone is recorded." And he goes, "That's your proof." So so you can take that.
I'm safer up in Canada, right? Right, Lloyd. I mean, I can move. I can move up to Canada, and I think I'll be better up there, right? I mean, because the Canadian government they don't have these secret programs, right?
Well, if we knew about them, they wouldn't be secret.
Yeah. All calls are routed to the U.S.
And I'm sure they're partnering with the U.S. Whenever the U.S. comes knocking, because
true enough,
you're our big protector to the south. So I'm sure
Canadians are too nice. They don't care what the Canadians. They're not planning anything bad in Canada.
Here, do you want some coffee? Some Tim Hortons? Do you want some poutine? Here, take it. And here's the information.
Here, but you know why Android and not iPhone, right? Terrorists have Android devices, right? So that's we. Terrorists don't have iPhones. That's a T-shirt. I actually have that. Terrorists don't have iPhones.
Chewbacca77 in the chat room's right. They have the metric system, so we'd have to learn that.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
That's our first step in confusing you guys. We keep it one step ahead of you by using metric.
Congrats, you win.
Yeah. All right.
He had me at Tim Hortons, but that's besides.
Tim Hortons is really good. I like Tim Hortons a lot. I go to Vancouver, BC about once a month, so I love heading up there. All right, guys, let's switch gears here. Let's move on now to our picks of the week. These are gaming, geeky related items that we like to talk about here on the show. Sometimes they have stories around them. As we're going to start off with Mr. Jase Rossi. He's got a story around his pick this week. Jase, what's your story? What's your pick this week?
Okay, so as we all know, I'm renovating my studio, getting stuff in.
Yeah,
that's why I'm using this nice headset instead of my
great sound quality. Yeah,
in my microphones. But I was looking around and I was looking locally to buy. I needed some 15-foot audio cables and extension cables and USB cables, and I was looking around locally.
Best Buy, and you're like, wow, only $100 for gold-plated cables. Yeah,
exactly. It's like, wow, this is uber expensive. So I was like, I'll order it online. So I went through Amazon. I was looking around. There were some good ones that were on there. This website, it's monoprice.com. People that are in the broadcast and audio type universe and stuff like that might know this, but I've actually had people ask me, it's like, what's Monoprice? And it's actually a website that's, I love this place. They sell stuff cheap, especially their audio cables, their HDMI cables. I got a 25-foot RCA set, some audio extenders, a USB gold-plated. No, they're all gold-plated. They're nice cables.
I actually have a 32-foot HDMI cable that I bought off of those guys for project once.
Exactly. And I spent like $50 for like all of it. So the reason I wanted to pick this is that, and how they do it so cheap is like, if you go to Best Buy and you're buying Monster or even I think it's like Rocket Fish, I think is Best Buy's like branding of stuff. They're still made by a third-party manufacturer. The stuff at Monoprice, a lot of the cabling is not made by third-party manufacturers. They actually make a lot of the HDMI and the RCA cables and everything like that in-house, so they're cutting that out, which is why for a 25-foot RCA cable that you're going to pay $75 for at Radio Shack or Best Buy, you're going to pay like $11 to $12 maybe, depending if you want the really good ones or just the generic, really thin ones. They're like $8.
Yeah, you can get I love this place. I use them quite a bit for a lot of the audio that I've done here in my studio. Looking at here at 3.5-inch, cable. Say, for example, you needed a cable to connect to the aux port in your car. You can get yourself a 6-foot, and it's gold-plated, so you know it's better, for $3.27. And this item will ship tomorrow.
Yes, I made my purchase on the 1st at 9:30 a.m. and it was actually packed and shipped and on its way to me by 11:30.
And I love them because they're on the West Coast of the U.S., so I love them even more. But they're great. Have you gents? I know John has. John, you just mentioned it, but Ray, have you utilized Monoprice? You're a geek.
Yeah, I think I actually do have a Monoprice cable in here. I found out, as a podcaster, I'm always looking for cables and stuff. So Monoprice came on my radar a couple years ago, and I've become a little bit more picky about my cables. But it's Mike Phillips. It's his fault. I think he's in the chat room, and so
he's going to shoot me for mentioning this. But
there's a site also that it's is it Proco? I think it's Proco, but Sweetwater sells Proco cables, and they use Nutric connectors. And so this is all Mike Phillips, his fault. So it depends really on the type of cable that you need, right? If you do need just a simple consumer cable, like you said, to go to your aux in your car, or an RCA cable, those things, they're cheap. They're unbalanced cables. Get the cheap one, right? It's going to be just fine. But if you need a more robust cable, maybe for like an XLR connection, or if you're going 1/4 inch to something in your studio and you can do a long run, you want a balanced, good connection. So I think it depends on what you're purchasing. But Monoprice, I haven't checked what connectors they use. But yeah, it's an awesome site. It's one that goes around in my circles a lot, and it's a good resource.
Sometimes, and I'm personally guilty of this, and there are some things that I do buy at Best Buy, especially now that they do price matching. I needed a new tripod, and this goes in with my pick of the week a little bit later. But sometimes what I'll do is I'll see a guy like looking at cables, and I'll be next to him, and he's looking at the $120 gold-plated HDMI cable that is from Monster, and I'll go, hey man, you can get one of those cables for $10. He's like, what? Are you selling me stolen goods? I'm like, no, monoprice.com. I've never heard of them. And And, I tell him about it, and then the Best Buy agent looks like he wants to kill me. So that's okay. No, Monoprice is a great pick. I know a lot of people out there that listen to our show probably already know about them, but spread the word. I mean, they make some really good product. I've actually used a lot of their cables in my setup, and this cable right here, this mic cable, even though Mike Phillips might kill me, is a Monoprice mic cable that I'm using here. So
and they've got some of their stuff that's house brand. There's cool things like patch panels for the wall where you're doing HDMI over the
in-wall
Cat
wiring.
5. You're running your Cat 6 cable and doing your HDMI wall plates.
Yeah,
without having to actually run full HDMI cabling the whole way. They got there's all kinds of cool stuff.
Yeah,
not just pre-made cables.
Yeah, they also sell ink, toner, switches. I mean, a whole bunch of different stuff. So this is not an ad. This is not a hidden ad. I mean, we're just fans of technology and geek stuff, and it's a really good website. So thanks for the story, Jase. Mr. Ray Ortega from the Podcaster Studio. What's your pick of the week, my friend?
I guess I snuck in with two, and so I don't break the rules here. But
no, that's okay. Two is fine.
One thing because I've got one that's sort of doing the Podcaster Studio. I'm always trying to give people help with their show and their productions, and you do an awesome production here on Geek Gamer Weekly. And you hadn't even heard of this, but because it's brand new, YouTube released, or they gave you the ability to put a one-click subscribe button on your website.
I love this.
This shifts YouTube a little more towards the podcasting space in that it's easier to get the content, right? You can go to someone's website, click on this. It doesn't even take you, if you're logged in to your YouTube or Gmail account, I don't think it even takes you off the page. You're literally just subscribed. And if I was someone putting this on my site, like a podcaster or a vlogger or something, I would also talk to my audience about the fact that they can go to their settings in the YouTube subscriptions and get an email when people upload. Because, unless you go into YouTube to see your subscriptions, now the app has helped a lot with that. I consume so much more YouTube now that they have a great iOS app. Well, they've always had a good iOS app, but they're making the experience a lot more like podcasts, where I say, I want your content, and then it just sort of comes to me, right? So this one-click subscribe button is a really cool thing for anyone who has a YouTube channel. You can easily go to the site that I linked here, which I'm sure will be in the show notes. It's so super simple to put in what you want. There's a couple different designs, and they'll just spit out the easy code. And if you're running anything that you just use a simple, put it in a text section editor of your website, whether that's a widget or in the blog post itself, and boom, the button pops up, and it's good looking and a great resource for YouTubers. So check that out.
Makes
for
it
sure.
really, really easy. And I mean, I'm looking at the code here. You just have to have a basically they give you the embed code, and then you bam, it's there. It's
copy paste, man. It's so
easy.
simple. And then my other thing is, as far as gaming goes, check out the video. Just go to YouTube and type in Illumi Room. I guess it's one word. It's ILLUMI Room. And it's this amazing new tech. I think it's just a proof of concept video, but it's just really fun to watch if you do any kind of gaming. Basically turns your living room. It extends the screen. You know, you've got your screen that you're playing the game on, and then everything outside of that, it projects like a false, like it projects an image essentially. And I've seen in the video, there's cases where the rest of this, you can kind of see what's coming. So an enemy is coming in a first-person shooter, like you're seeing, and that you can see them coming into the screen, and they've got special tech that tracks the people off screen.
Yeah, you can see it right here. We have a little demonstration video. It's phenomenal.
It's amazing. I mean, and this room here has actually got, look, I mean, even the room has got a graphic laid over it. That's not even what the room looks like. And the room will pulse. Like if you're there, it just pulsed right there. So, I mean, I don't know how far away this is from actually happening. This is part of their research arm, I guess. But this concept video looks amazing. So something cool to check out.
I want one. I mean, granted, it's probably going to be $20,000, but no, I don't think it'd be that expensive. But man,
it should tie in with what's the Microsoft motion track thing?
The Kinect.
The Kinect. It ties right in, I think, to the Kinect. So.
Yeah. Oh man, I'm hooked.
Yeah, it looks amazing.
Well, two awesome picks, right? Thank you so much, sir. All right, Lloyd. Hopefully, you've been able to pull yourself away from this to be able to tell us about your pick. What's your pick this week, sir?
Well, normally I do iOS games because I do an iOS gaming show. So I could talk about Delta V Racing or Rimmed Capsule, a lot of other games that I'm playing on my iOS. But I would be lying if I didn't. I'd be lying to myself if I didn't talk about something that I'm playing on my Nintendo 3DS. It's a game that came out in like June, and I've played it every single day since June. And I'm hopelessly addicted to it. I even went so far to go and create a Winnipeg Jets jersey inside this game so I can run around the game wearing my colors. And it's Animal Crossing on Animal Crossing New Leaf on the Nintendo 3DS. And essentially it's a game that you just live in a city. So you're the mayor of the city. You run around, you dig up fossils, you fish it, you go fishing, you collect bugs, you collect items, you build up collections. I don't understand what it is exactly about this game that makes it so damn addictive. But every time you do something, you get like a little boost of pleasure in your pleasure centers. And the game is filled with that. So every day is a new day. So the game resets something. So there's new fossils to dig up every day. Stores have new things to buy. You get letters from your villagers. So every day I play at least a half hour. Usually it's a little bit longer. So I've put in so much time into this game, and I don't even want to say the total publicly because it's embarrassing. Right. But it is such an endearing game. I played it on the GameCube. It was awesome on the GameCube. I played it on the Wii. Not so much, but on the 3DS, it's everything that Nintendo does distilled down to a perfect little 1" by 1" cartridge that you stick inside your Nintendo 3DS. So if you have a 3DS, you need this game. If you don't, I know people that have bought a 3DS. I know 4 people that bought a 3DS just to play this game. So it's that good if you have that sort of OCD crazy collector's mentality like I have. It's a lot of fun.
Yeah, I have a 3DS, and I'm afraid to buy it.
You'd be afraid, but it's a wonderful.
Well, I'm not just afraid. I'm afraid that my wife's gonna grab it and she's never gonna give it back. That's my fear.
I may be buying a second 3DS in my house.
Oh, see,
my kids have DSs. They got our hand-me-down DSs.
Yeah.
But she wants a 3DS now to play Animal Crossing. So yeah, it'll happen.
Well, great pick, and I'll probably pick your brain more about that game later on. Sure. John Kessler, you stalled long enough. You must have a pick by now. What is your pick of the week?
stuck it in there.
I know. I know.
Oh, okay. You're waiting for me to actually talk about it.
Yeah.
Well, if you insist.
Yeah, wake up. Go
Okay,
ahead.
I'm awake. I think I am.
All right. Go. Come on, John, go.
No, I was
Come on.
back the story up. I was reading a tech article about this last on Friday about a company called and where's my page for that? There it is. Their website's rocketjump.com.
Okay.
The producers of some material. One of them is a show that was put out in season 1 on YouTube. It was actually, wasn't something you watch on TV.
Uh-huh.
It was fully online. Their little gimmick or trick this go around for season 2 is they are filming in 48 frames per second.
Now, why? Now, I'm a little dumb here.
Yeah.
I'm being dumb on purpose for
Okay.
some people. Some people may already call me dumb, and that's fine. John, why is this significant? What's the big deal here?
One, not too many people are doing it.
Is this just a gimmick, though? 48 frames per second?
We're waiting to see.
Okay.
They talked about, they likened it to The Hobbit,
Okay.
Which-
that's true. Yeah.
which was done, and they said a lot of the critics didn't like the fact that, it
It
made
didn't
it.
feel like a motion picture.
Yeah.
It felt like video at that point.
Yeah. Well,
Right.
that they said, you could see the gimmickry, the costumes just didn't look good and stuff. Well, they said, well, unlike the Hobbit, they said, their actors aren't wearing very much makeup at all because one, they're just people. They're not creatures.
Right. Yeah.
And they've actually added some blurring back in post process.
Oh,
processing,
really? To make
yeah.
it look more natural.
Yeah. Or at least to what we're used to seeing. But according to them, the only place, at least to watch the episodes of the TV, their little show, I keep saying TV show when it's not a TV show.
Right. It's an online series.
Online series is
Right.
through their site. Now, I was showing it to somebody on Friday, which they said, which is odd because it wasn't a player that you downloaded. They said maybe it was HTML5, but it is done through Flash.
So wouldn't that still be 30 frames a second?
Don't know.
Oh.
But when you play the season 2 stuff, you do get options for 1080p or they call it the HD HDHF, or there's another option you can click on the player to show the high definition, the high frame rate stuff in both 1080 and 720.
Cool. Well, I'll have to check that out. If I show it now, you guys won't see the effect because we do 30 frames a second here. So no, that's neat. So we'll have a link in the show notes, rocketjump.com, if you want to check that out yourself.
But no,
yeah.
it actually it does look pretty decent. It looks when you're running it, but you definitely do need to have some bandwidth available to be able to stream it.
Cool. Very cool. Well, thanks, John, for that
Mhm.
pick. Awesome pick. As always, you come out with something educational and
It was
interesting.
geeky and
It works.
because that show was the video game high school thing, so it's kind of funny to watch.
So my pick this week is an app for Android, for Windows Phone, and for iOS, so it's available for everything. And a lot of people may already know about it, but this is one of those picks that's kind of a refresher. It's an app called Shop Savvy. You can grab it on everything, and there's also one called Red Laser, which is a competitor. Amazon can do price checking with their own app. But the one thing I really like about all these apps, especially Shop Savvy, is you can obviously scan the UPC code on a product, and it will tell you if it's cheaper online or if it's available locally, maybe at a different store at a different price. And the reason why this is significant is I recently had to replace my tripod here in the studio that I use for the main camera, and I needed it quickly. So I couldn't wait to go online to pull the trigger and pick one up. And so I went in the Best Buy locally, and they were selling this tripod for $51. And I was like, gosh, this is expensive. I need it, but I'm wondering if I could save some money. So I fired up the app, scanned it, and it told me that B&H Audio Video, which is a great website that I use as well, was selling it for $34.95, the same tripod. So I went over to the agent. I said, do you price match B&H? And they, yep, sure do. And they price matched, and bam, I got it for $18 cheaper. Moral of the story here, folks, real simple. if you have a smartphone, utilize your resources. A lot of people are afraid to kind of turn the box around and scan that barcode. But when you do that, you can potentially save loads of money. And the best part about it, it's, guess what? Free. The app is free. And it just takes a few seconds just to scan the barcode. It's really easy. I suggest you guys, if you don't have one of these scanning apps for your phone and you're shopping locally, you should have one. Utilize that awesome computer that you have there in your hand. John's shaking his head over here. What? You don't have an app like this?
No, I was just a funny thought compared to, or in relationship to an article we had earlier.
Yeah.
It's like, it's free because it's subsidized by the FBI.
It's subsidized by the FBI.
All those free apps. Yeah, so, they can be listening to stuff on your Android phone after
we can't prove it, but
downloading.
But it's a cool app, Shop Savvy. If you want to check it out, shopsavvy.com, and they'll have links to all your favorite devices. Basically, it'll work with any kind of device that at least has a camera on it. So it'll probably even work on the new Nexus 7, which is great. So that's our picks this week. You can find the picks to those stories and all the stories that we talked about today at GeekGamerTV. Just check out episode, what was it? Oh, yeah, this is episode 243. So make sure you check that out. I want to say first, thanks to this guy right here, Mr. Jase Rossi, for joining the show this week. And Jase, you want to? I know right now you just have a little splash page for GamerTech.tv,
Yes.
but do you want to tell the audience real quick what it's going to be about and what you're going to be covering and all that?
Well, one of the key components to this site is obviously going to be the live broadcasts. We're going to be doing on Mondays and Fridays.
Sorry, I was switching there. There you go. Sorry, go ahead.
We're going to be live on Monday and Fridays at 8 Central, which I think is 6 Pacific, 9 Eastern.
Yep.
And like you guys cover gaming news and tech and stuff like that, which we're going to have a little bit of, but we're more of the tech stuff. We're going to try to get as much products as we can to have hands-on demos of these products and kind of review them on the show. Because I've been doing product reviews since 2003, so I've really good relationship with hardware companies, stuff like that. So we're gonna have a little bit of news, but we're actually gonna have physical products on the show that we're gonna talk about, and it's gonna be mostly just gaming stuff for video cards, motherboards. It could be monitors or keyboards, mice, things like that. So that's gonna be the one thing. Plus, we're gonna have those reviews separate on the YouTube channel. Plus, we'll have the live show on the YouTube channel, and then it'll be on. I figured out how to do Roku apps, so I think we're going to be doing that.
Then we need to have a conversation.
Yeah, we do need to have a conversation.
We need to have a conversation. But yeah, you can actually sign up right now if you want to know, and you want to be the first person to know when it launches. There is a notify link. The FBI gets notified as well, which is really nice.
Yes.
GamerTech.tv. And you're on Twitter, Google+, you're everywhere. So, and also follow you on Twitter at Jase Rossi, JaseRossi. And as always, my friend, it's always great to have you on. Thanks, man.
Of course.
Also here from the great north, the beautiful country of Canada, which I camped in over 4th of July holiday.
Very nice.
Yeah, I ran away from the States to go celebrate the 4th up there.
You can probably see the fireworks still.
Yes. Lloyd Hannesson does an awesome network of different gaming and technology type shows. I say they're more gaming than tech.
Definitely more gaming. Yeah.
But tell us a little bit in case people don't know about VGPodcasts.
Yeah, sure. Well, first, I just wanted to say thanks to Ray for posting that YouTube subscribe button. I've already added it to my site, and I've already gotten a couple subscriptions to my channel, which is just like, what? That's crazy. But anyway, thanks for that.
You mean right here, or it says subscribe on YouTube?
Yeah. So
wait,
I posted
sorry.
it on my website.
I don't see it. Maybe
if you scroll down, I just added it there. Subscribe on YouTube.
Oh, okay.
For some reason, it's not loading on yours for whatever reason.
Cache.
Oh, it could be a cache thing.
Yeah, it could be cache.
But go ahead.
So thanks, Ray.
Awesome.
But yeah,
congrats, man. That's powerful. I can't believe, already a couple subscribers, which means you're getting good traffic. So congrats all around.
Yeah, well, thank you. But for VGPodcasts.com. Yeah, thanks Chase for bringing me on to the show, and we host a series of podcasts there. I do the Touch of Gaming, which is our iOS review show. We cover a few reviews of iOS, either iPad or iPhone games every week. We do Nintendo Pulse, which is our Nintendo themed show. I started podcasting in like 2004 with PSP podcasts, and then started doing DS Life on the Nintendo DS, and then Wii Spot on the Wii, and mushed them all together, and now they're Nintendo Pulse. I've been doing that for a little while now as well. And then we do the bonus stage every Friday night at 10 p.m. Central. So that's 8 p.m. Pacific and 11 p.m., which is really late for people out east. Sorry. So yeah, we do a lot of gaming stuff, and I have a show called Full on Indie, which we interview indie game developers as well. That one's every 2 to 3 weeks. The guy that I co-host it with just raised almost $1 million in funding for the game he's working on. So he's a little busy.
Yeah, I could see.
That podcast has been a little bit slower than we would have hoped, but I guess it's worked out for him as well. So yeah, we do a lot of stuff, and I love chatting games. I love chatting tech. So definitely thanks again for having me on your show yet again.
Oh, no problem, Lloyd. Always a great friend of the show. I do listen to a lot of your stuff now that I have extra time in my hands. I love independent content. I think that's really the future, and the best part about doing what we do is you could really hone in and find specifically what you like, what you don't like. And also, I always love listening to Canadians. They're just so happy and friendly and feel warm inside. Just so nice.
I told you, it's the coffee and poutine.
It's the coffee and the Tim Hortons. So.
And the Tim Hortons, that's right.
Now, if you are a podcaster and you want to learn about some awesome insights and you want to know what it takes to be a really good podcaster, you might want to think about this gentleman right here, Mr. Ray. I said Roy. Sorry. Oh, man. That was a great introduction, and I screwed it up. Ray Ortega from the Podcaster Studio. You're up, man. Why don't you tell people? Now, I already know, but why don't you tell people the kind of stuff that you do for people out there?
Well, I mean, you said it, right?
Yeah.
If you want to start a podcast, go over to thepodcasterstudio.com. There's 2 S's in there. It's in the lower third. And if you have a question, I'm always available at Podcast Helper on Twitter. Podcasting became something I started doing because I thought it was amazing. I started with a video podcast started putting that together in 2006, and I think launched January 2007. And it became all I did, and so much so that I was able to spin it into a full-time career. I produce for a nonprofit here in DC, and it's a dream job. So I like sharing all the knowledge that I've gained over the years so other people can start shows, just like you guys all have. And it's been so cool to be on a panel. Thanks, Chase, for doing the heavy lifting. I'm used to doing hosting. I'm not on a lot of shows other than the shows I produce myself, and it's great to meet other podcasters or broadcasters, whatever we're calling ourselves, right?
Yeah.
Content creators, online content creators. And all of you seem like, I'm just sitting here listening to what you guys are doing. It's all exciting, and I'm seeing all this potential of where it's going to go. And you guys have been here. I mean, you got Lloyd's an OG podcaster, man. He's from 2004. He's been around forever. So congrats. I'm seeing all these podcasts that have 100 or 200. This is 243. Congrats on that. So you guys have been here for the long haul, and you're the hardcore. So thanks for having me on the show. Again, if you want to start a podcast, go over to the Podcaster Studio or tweet me your question about how do I even get started.
Yeah, no, it's one of those things where, for the most part, most people in the community are very warm, very open, and very easy to connect with, and that's the great thing about doing what we do. And I ran into Ray. I believe it was probably on Google Plus because he does a lot of stuff over there, and and also our mutual passions for San Francisco Giants baseball doesn't hurt either. So it's great to have you on the show, Ray, and good luck in the move. And I can't wait to have you back on the West Coast, man. It'll make it a lot easier to have you on more often.
Thanks again. I really appreciate it. And follow me along, because I'm actually going to take a detached garage and turn it into a podcast studio. So all the behind the scenes of doing that should be available.
I cannot wait. and by the way, the offer goes out to you as well. If you need help with some tips and techniques to get things set up, let me know.
Oh, your studio rocks. So I see the personas back there, and
Thanks.
everyone. When I have you on my show, everyone wants to know where the ticker comes from, and it looks like it's literally like a lightsaber in between there, and the red back there.
Yeah. Well, the lights came from IKEA. The reader board came from Costco Business. The Super Scope came from Nintendo. So there's I change these items. I try to keep it fresh and have a lot of fun.
Where's
with
your
it.
giant stuff back there?
My giant stuff.
Yeah,
you don't see
called
them?
me out.
Oh, hold on.
You called me out.
Hold on. All right. So in over here, we got Kirk Reader.
Oh, all right, Woody.
And then,
That proves I'm a Giants fan.
and then hiding. You can't really see them. He's hiding behind the creeper over there. Is Rich Aurelia.
Richie, sexy Richie. I got a picture with Richie. Richie's a good-looking dude.
Yeah, Rich Aurelia is great, man. Good shortstop. He played for the Mariners for like a half a season.
Yeah.
I was like the only one in the stands like clapping for him, and people were like, "Why are you clapping for him?" I was like, "Because he used to be a Giant." And then they
number 35.
35.
Man. Richie was solid shortstop.
Yeah.
I like that guy. I got to meet him, so he's really cool.
John Kessler. He's not on any social media, so the Twitter that you see down below, it's not really his. It's me impersonating him.
Yeah.
He thought he was hiding from the FBI.
Yeah.
He's got an Android device. Forget it. It's not hiding.
Damn.
But yes, Mr. John Kessler, he's always ducky. But if you have questions for him specifically related to cars and stuff, John's very knowledgeable in that department. John works for a local European repair company called
Woodinville Sports Cars.
and you can go to their website at
Woodinville Sports Cars.
.com.
Oh.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah.
I know. No, I mean, you guys do great work over there. You worked on my car,
Mhm.
and
It's still running, isn't it?
it's still barely.
Well, that's a good job.
Yeah.
Good.
But yeah, John, as always, thank you for joining the show.
Mhm.
And most importantly, I want to thank you guys, all you guys watching who download and view on YouTube and subscribe. Thank you so much. Also, you can check us out on iTunes. We're also on the Microsoft Music Marketplace. I think that's what they're calling it now. That's another problem, Microsoft. You change the name all the time. But yeah, you can grab us anywhere. And if you have an Android device, RSS feeds, and we're also available on Pocket Casts and Stitcher. I could keep going, but I won't. But I want to say thank you for joining the show. We do the show every Sunday evening around 6 p.m. Pacific, 9 Eastern at live.geekgamer.tv. I want to say thanks so much to our guests this week, Mr. Ray Ortega, Lloyd Hannesson, Jase Rossi, John Kessler. My name is Chase Nunes. Until we all talk again, we're all silent. Say goodnight, Gracie.
Good night, Gracie.
And since Joe's not here,
Joseph Falk.
Joseph Ball.
Bob Saget.
Joseph Falk.